Alright, how many poisonous plants have you eaten in your life? Me, I've eaten my fair share, and I'd like to discuss them a little bit here. I've made some bad mistakes on plant identification. Sometimes I just I take a wild guess and make the bad call pretty much. Of course, I've never killed myself. I may have done permanent damage, such as with the kava kava. I stopped. There's no way I'm ever going to take kava kava again. That stuff is bad, and it's sold sporadically at different types of natural food stores. I wouldn't recommend it. There are some herbs that are sold at stores that you should just not even consider buying. Alright, they're just no good. Like the comfrey root or the comfrey leaf, it's just, some people say consume it, but don't bother. It's just no good for you. It's too toxic. Your sarsaparilla, which is a flavoring for root beer, that's dangerous. I've consumed that, and it's hurt my liver. It's made me feel ill. It's not worth the permanent damage to your liver that it causes. Periwinkle tea, no good. Alright, I bought that at Mother Nature store in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I had to try it. See, what really got me into herbs was that there are some that give you a legal high, alright? Like, you got wild lettuce. You can consume that, and it's similar to the poppy plant. And I've consumed the poppy plant as well, just like I took a little piece of a leaf, because I understood that it had a white latex, and that's what I saw. White latex bleeds from the leaf, and you could compare that to the wild lettuce too. Poppy and wild lettuce both bleed a white latex, but you lick the white latex of the poppy and your blood pressure drops, you get a little woozy, your hands do feel like two balloons, and if you do that with the wild lettuce, you will feel relaxed, but it's not as intense, okay? But I can't say that one is stronger than the other. I think they're just different. They're different. I mean, they're still plants, but they have different properties. They affect your body in a different way, alright? You could also eat the regular lettuce if you garden it, if you grow it in your garden, and that's pretty much like wild lettuce as well. You can harvest the latex, and I don't know how people go about harvesting that latex, but if you do, it's very laborious, and it's not going to be cheap. Alright, so I've poisoned myself with other types of plants as well, and I've felt deathly, and it was a mistake. Alright, but I was curious, and I was reading in this book on how people have actually died. There were reports on little kids who think that a particular leaf is like a wild carrot. They're under the impression, or these little red berries are completely edible. It seems the most common reactions to poisonous plants is like a stomach vomiting, stomach upset, burning. And then that's in general. Like I've probably read about 15 or 20 reports in this one book, and it really starts out with the stomach. That's the first place, and then if it gets worse, then it's going to go to your head. It starts with the stomach, works to the head. You're dizzy, you're nauseous, you're convulsing sometimes with I don't know, say belladonna, or even that one. There's a few of those that are well known. There's a lot of lesser known ones, like hellebore. Well, okay. Anyway, let me get back to my stuff. I've just remembered I consumed lily of the valley once, because in a book it said that it's a heart tonic, but it hurts the stomach more than it helps the heart. I believe I consumed a little flour, and that's enough. Don't mess with that. Hydrangea, I had that in my yard when I used to own a house. You eat the root or something, and it's a legal high, but I don't think it's worth it from the reports that I've read. There's one that it's another toxic one. I didn't see it in the book, that's why I can't remember it exactly. I was thinking of it, and I was wondering when I was going to come across it. It's not wormwood. Wormwood is another bad one. They use that in absinthe, and it just shuts down your brain. You get a little like narcotic effect, but it's so toxic that you're going to cause damage experiencing that narcotic, and it's not worth it. Wormwood is sold in stores too. Very bitter. There's better bitter ones out there than that for your bitter. If you wanted to consume, if you have a taste for bitter. Every so often I'll get a taste for bitter, and it's nice to have something available. Yeah, I've consumed too many leaves from the willow tree, and that's caused like a lightheadedness, that I felt there was a disconnect between my heart and my mind. It didn't feel right. You can consume too much willow. All right. Yeah. It seems okay. In general, it seems like the plants that are the safest are the ones that are around soils that are turned soils. All right. Those seem to have the larger amount of plants that are safer for you. And then I'm guessing that the most dangerous plants tend to be found in the marsh. From what I've read, there are a lot of poisonous plants in the marsh. In between that and the deep forest, I don't really trust the deep forest plants quite as much. In the Pacific Northwest, salal is pretty good. In the desert, I've bought ephedra, the ephedra plant from Los Angeles desert over eBay, I believe, and had it sent to Wisconsin, and that sent my heart into convulsions. I think I did permanent damage to my heart with that one. It really gets your heart going. All right, there's people who are addicted to the meth, which is an extract of it. But and I think that well, there's a report that said you can best harvest. The best way to get the meth products is straight from the plant. All right, that's the cheapest, quickest way. You do it by way of tea. Maybe use a particular solvent or whatever. All I had to do was chew on the little stick, and that was enough to send my heart in the convulsions. Yeah. I'm done with that plant. I don't need that energy. I like things that calm me down. And wild lettuce does it. Catnip is perfectly safe. That's one that said it's safe for babies, and that's growing around now. Maybe not so much Idaho, because Idaho is a pretty harsh climate. It's mostly sagebrush. I'm having a lot of difficulty finding wild edibles in and around Idaho, just because it's such a harsh environment. There sporadically I'll see like dandelions and stuff that I'd like to consume. Just a nibble here and there. I'd like to see more variety. Last year at this time I was in Silverton, Oregon, I believe, and just around that area, and finding all kinds of plants, all kinds of nice edible plants popping up all over the place. I missed that. I really was hoping that I could keep moving along and find other plants further east, and just uncover and just become familiar with newer plants. But I'm kind of stuck. Yeah. So I guess I'll just stop here.